Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. If you remember, in case you haven't forgotten yet, the Ukrainians had a counteroffensive that started, I think, in May, June, I can't even remember. And obviously, that was a dead attempt. They succeed taking a little bit of land, and then the Russians now are getting that back. We have here an article from Ukrainska Pravda. We have a map, and we're going to see what exactly the Russians were able to capture back or recapture. So let's start with Ukrainska Pravda today, the 28th of December 2023. Here it is. Russians recapture positions near Verbove, seized by Ukrainians in summer counteroffensive. This is according to the Institute for the Study of War. And here it is. Russian troops have likely advanced in the western part of Verbove, Zaporizhzhia Oblast, and recaptured positions that Ukrainian troops had seized during a counteroffensive in the summer of 2023. I think it is a little bit safer to say in the summer, or instead of saying in June or something. This comes from the Institute for the Study of War. This is likely to have occurred after Ukrainian forces withdrew to more defensible positions near Robotnie for the winter. Geolocation footage released on 14th and 27th of December shows that Russian troops have advanced to the west of Verbove, 9 kilometers east of Robotnie. I'll show you the map in a minute. The Institute for the Study of War stated, actually probably they're going to show us a little bit there, but I have a better map, stated that the seizure of neighboring positions by Ukrainian forces in August 2023 was tactically important. Whenever the Ukrainians are gaining something, it's tactically important. If the Russians conquer Marinka, it's not important. It's just, 30,000 people or something. Well, it's empty. No, I don't think it's 30,000 people. I think Avdiivka is about that kind of which is going to fall in the Russians' hands soon. So it was tactically important as it could have allowed Ukrainian forces to launch an operation past the densest Russian minefields and subsequent Russian defenses. That was the whole plan, to go and cut the Russians in Zaporizhzhia. I will show you the big map. However, the Institute for the Study of War does not believe that the recapture of this position by the Russian forces is particularly important at this point. So it's important for us, but it's not important for us. For you. What do you think? Is that Bentley good for you? Yeah, very, very good. Very, but it's not good for you. It's only for me. Okay, my man, if you say so. So we got this little situation here. This is according to the Institute for the Study of War. I'm guessing, I don't see anything. Sources, Deep State map shows this one. I will show you another map as well, which shows actually the little town of Bethlehem, Verbove, as being in the Russians' head for some time. At the same time, Brigadier General Alexander Tarnavsky, commander of the Tavria Operational Strategic Group of Forces, said in an interview with BBC published on December 27th that the Russian leadership wanted to at least capture Avdiivka, but had a more ambitious goal of capturing the whole of Donetsk and Luhansk Oblast, regaining the territory that Russian forces lost in Zaporizhzhia Oblast during the Ukrainian counteroffensive. The Russians did not do a good job in Zaporizhzhia, neither did the Ukrainians. The Russian advance in the western part of Zaporizhzhia Oblast nevertheless confirms the Institute for the Study of War's assessment. Okay, you have assessments, huh? That the current position of war in Ukraine is not a stable stalemate. So you know that Institute for the Study of War is against Zaluzny right here. Why? Because Zaluzny, General Zaluzny, possibly the only Ukrainian in the Ukrainian leadership, said that it's a stalemate. And the politicians and the backers, the guys in the West, said, no, it's not. No, it's not. Even that idiot defense minister of Great Britain said, shops. He said, oh, no, this is not a stalemate because the Ukrainians hit that landing ship in Fedosia, whatever, Fedosia in Crimean Peninsula. Now that's your defense minister, okay? So because of that strike, it's not a stalemate. Not a stalemate when you see things, not advancing left and right. It doesn't mean that they're not gonna, shell one another. But what do you want? You have Zelensky Stein in charge of Ukraine. You got Zelensky Stein in charge of the Great Britain's supposedly defense ministry. You got Zelensky Stein in charge of U.S. foreign policy, full of Zelensky Steins. Just a coincidence. I don't see, French people or Polish or Palestinians being in any of these positions whatsoever of power. But hey, they are the victims. As the current balance can be shifted in either direction by decisions made in the West or in Russia, and the limited Russian gains may become significant, especially if the West stops military aid to Ukraine. So this is a threat, right? Not a threat. Get scared. Boogeyman is right there. Don't give us money. They're gonna come and get your wife and your family, basically. So let's go to this little map that I have. Obviously the Ukrainian map. Here we have the Crimean Peninsula. This is right here is Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia is this little thing here. This is the Oblast. This is the Sea of Azov. So here is Robotino by the Russians and Verbove by the Russians again. So as you can tell by the Russian map, that this is way conquered, way within, including Robotino, way within the Russians' occupying forces or the territory that they control. And compare that with this one, it's right there, bim bam, whatever is going on. But this little bulge right here, I'm guessing this is Robotnia right here. I don't read Cyrillic, but anyway, here I think this is what I'm talking about here, Robotinia going that way. It's basically the same thing, but the Russians were a little bit more eager beavers to show us that they got deeper there. All right, my friends, this is for now not a big deal. I mean, I don't know how hard these little victories are fought in order to say, yes, actually it is a big deal. If you remember, it was there were some, I'm not going to mention now, certain positions that were hard fought for, that seemed unimportant, but they held the key for bigger expansion or advanced. And here, I don't know if this is one of the key locations. I don't think so, but I don't have enough information to make a statement on that. And now on that one here, this is what the Ukrainians try to do with their counteroffensive. They focused their attacks on this area here, and they try to cut through Melitopol and to Berdyansk. So cut the Russians in two on this front between this and that, and go down, and eventually cut the Russians in half and have Crimean Peninsula alone, standing alone here, supposedly destroying the Kerch Bridge here. Therefore, the Russians could not defend it, could not transport troops or bring anything else. But it didn't happen. They expected to happen about 10 days, this, and it didn't happen. So there we have it. The Russians did something, but that's something, I don't know if it's going to be a bigger thing. It's like a crack in a dam, water dam. A crack could expand and become bigger in no time, and then the whole dam collapses. Just a little crack. Everything starts with a little crack in this kind of circumstances. A little crack. Remember when it was the encirclement of Stalingrad? There was a little crack, and then when that was defeated, they were able to go around and encircle. The whole thing was done by one crack, one attack. Now it was not like a Robotinia or a Borny. The front was a little bit larger over there when the Soviets were capable of destroying the German Wehrmacht together with Hungarians and others in that particular point. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.